निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवाताय शुद्धज्ञानमूर्तये स्वामी। निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सुमुखश्च एकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लंबोदरश्च विकटो विघ्नराजो विनायकः धूमकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षः फालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डः शूर्पकर्णो हेरम्बः स्कन्धपूर्वजः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। यस्य द्विरदवक्त्राढ्या पारिषद्या परस्ततं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। And loving namaskarams to every one of you. My loving pranams at the lotus feet of the dearest Swami. With His infinite grace, we have gathered here to partake the meaning of Sri Suktham. At the outset, I must share my limitations. I am not an expert. So to understand the meaning of Sri Suktham is not going to be obtained through what I'm going to share with you. It is only the Bhagavan who is seated in your Hridayam who will teach you and clarify the correct meaning of what it is. So what you're going to see, what we're going to see is whatever I understand with my limitations, with all my shortcomings, the meanings of Sri Suktham as very beautifully explained in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan publication and by Mr. B.P. Kunur. His another name is Panduranga. It's a very nice, very beautiful book. He has based his understanding of the meaning based upon Sayanacharya's Bhashyam, and also other elders' teachings that he obtained in Hindi and Marathi, plus the various spiritual teachings available to us and to him through the Sri Ramakrishna Mission publications. And I will also be using the explanations given by Sri Ubaya Vedanta Vidwan, Mukkur Upanyasa Kesari Srinivasa Varadacharya Swami. And his book was published by the Mahalakshmi Trust in Besant Nagar, Chennai. These are the two books, publications that I'm referring to in the meanings I'm going to share with you, plus based upon my understanding of Swami's teachings. Now, Sri Suktham, like any other Veda mantram, it's a Veda Suktham, it's a Veda mantra. There are Rishigal who actually had the darshanam of this mantra, mantra drashtakal. We will cover that very briefly in just a short while. And they have given vent to their experiences, the divine experiences, using the vehicle of the Sabdamayi, Bhagavan who is present in Sabdam, and that has come out what we call as a Vedic mantra. And the Sri Suktham itself is got 15 riks, and those things I'll cover in just a bit. And before we start reciting the Sri Suktham, and the context of, we all know by now what Suktham is. We have covered that earlier in Purusha Suktham, Narayana Suktham, and Vishnu Suktham that we've been blessed to share. And what does Sri mean? That also I will share with you. That means different things, but what does Swami say? What does it mean? The Sri. And the context in which the Sri Suktham needs to be experienced, because it is nothing short of an acoustic rupam, an image of divinity itself. Nothing short of that. These 15 riks that we're going to share describe in the form of sound, try to capture the form of Sri, that you, me, everybody, every being is experiencing every kshanam, every moment continuously we are experiencing this aspect of divinity. In our life, there are many Vedic hymns, but two of them we give very high prominence, Purusha Suktham and Sri Suktham. They always go hand in hand. In Purusha Suktham, we saw how Bhagavan is manifesting himself in the macro form as well as in the micro form, right? The Virata Purusha, okay? Vividhani Rajante Yiti Virat. It says, in so many ways, Bhagavan appears, manifests himself also from within. We saw that in the second Anuvakam of Purusha Suktham, followed by Narayana Suktham also. That Bhagavan, that Parama Purusha, Parameswara, Adi Narayana, Paramapadam, whatever name that I do, that I assign to him, of course he fits it, but he's beyond that. That entity, that Ekam Sat, what Bhagavan says is Prema, that love only, okay, love is my form, he says. And there's only love, and Satyam, Dharmam, and Prema. These are all one and the same. That entity, we all have been taught, and we also experience it in our life, not only the teachings, but we experience it probably surfacially, but we all are witness to it. The birth, the creation that takes place, okay, the sustenance that takes place, the poshanam as it is called, Bhagavan says very beautifully in Bhagavata Vahini, the protection and and then finally the dissolution, right? We all know that. Creation, sustenance, dissolution. Then the aspects of the Parabrahman that we say is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Those are the three different aspects of the same one entity and has been repeatedly taught by Bhagavan himself, not only in this avatar, but in all the avatars. So that entity, once the creation takes place, whatever has been created has to be sustained, has to be nourished, has to be protected. And to illustrate this point, one quick anecdote. Once in the interview room, one person asked Swami, Swami, you're always materializing inanimate objects, like a ring, like a necklace, like vibhuti, all are inanimate. And can you really manifest animate a living thing? And then Swami, very with his punnagai, bantahasam, and he put his palm on the floor and slowly raised his palm up. As he raised it up, there was a monkey, a baby monkey, alive and kicking and doing seshtaigal. Then Swami kept the monkey in his hand and said, you see, when you create a living thing, an animate thing, you also have to protect it. That is why I don't create living things and give it to people. Because the responsibility, the duty is huge, huge, unbelievably huge. Not a kshanam that Bhagavan can rest. Because continuously, day and night, not only you and me, all the beings, all over, you have to protect. That protecting aspect, that Shakti, Vishnu, what we call, all around, how does it happen, that Shakti? Through the various resources that you and I have been endowed with, blessed with. It is not only immediately Lakshmi means it is not just money. It is not that dhanam. It is also dhanyam, the nutrients that we need, the food that we take, the education, the knowledge, the children that we have, the health that we have. You look around. It is just not limited to Ashtalakshmis, not just 8. Infinite ways that Bhagavan is protecting us. And this protecting Shakti, this protecting aspect of Bhagavan is now no different. It is illustrated how a mother protects her child. Just imagine. The child is born. How does a mother take care of the child? She has to feed, she has to protect, nourish. That is a primary call that she automatically does it and becomes the topmost priority. As the child grows and becomes old and all that, still if the mother is alive, the child, the child of the mother, regardless of how old the child is always a child to the mother. We all know that, right? And everybody has experienced it. And Bhagavan is a divine mother. And this aspect called poshanam, this protection, is so vital. Okay? And there's so many ways it manifests this Shakti. And this Shakti, the resources we call in English, okay, that protects you and me. That's just not food, just not the money and just not giving a house to live, but everything, health, my ability to walk, ability to speak, whatever that you think of, that enables me to live. And that power, that Shakti is called Lakshmi. Now, this and the Bhagavan, how does he protect us? As in this, without going deep into what Bhagavan has talked about in Srimad Bhagavatam, basically through the Prakriti, what we call as nature in English, but Prakriti is a much more precise term in Sanskritam. And that Iyarkai, we say in Tamil, nature. And Prakriti, as Swami says, is nothing other than the three gunangal. That's all it is. And when the three gunangal are in absolute equilibrium, you all know what the gunangal are: Sattva Gunam, Rajasa Gunam, and Tamasa Gunam. When they are in absolute equilibrium, then there's no creation, everything that is Prakriti. But Kalam, time, disturbs the equilibrium, and the Rajasic Gunam creates, the Sattvic Gunam protects, and the Tamasic Gunam dissolves whatever has been protected. The Prakriti itself is in the Sanskritam, the grammar, and is in the what we call as a feminine form of it. Three. So that simply means it is not a feminine form, like a form of a woman or a man, right? That's what we think. But three simply means something that is dependent. And Purusha is the true independent one. That is Purusha Suktham we saw. Everything that is in creation, in nature, in Prakriti is absolutely dependent. That's Shakti. And that Prakriti is called by different names. You might call it as Amba, you might call it as Shakti, you might call it as Lakshmi. But everything is the Sanskrit grammar always denotes it's a three angle. The grammar is the feminine grammar, okay, and indicating that it is dependent on the Purusha. It is not independent. Now, this aspect, this Lakshmi, who's actually protecting us, sustaining us, nourishing us, okay, that aspect of Lakshmi, we call as Lakshmi. And very beautifully, it is also called Stri. Now, Lakshmi, Laksh simply, with just a couple of points that is so vital to know, side notes. The dhatu, the root sabdam for Lakshmi is Laksh. And Lakshmanan, Lakshmi, Lakshyam, okay, Lakshanam. So many things we say, isn't it? Lakshyam, Lakshanam, so many things. So Laksh simply means to observe, to point, to denote. Okay, that's what it points basically. So when or in Tamil we say Adayalangal, right? Lakshanam, Adayalangal. So when I train my mind and turn my mind to look at all the resources that I've been blessed with, this Purusha, this effulgence of Bhagavan, whatever name I call him, okay, beyond all that, and he's shining through all these resources in order to protect me. That shining effulgence is Lakshmi pointing to the presence of Bhagavan. That's why Lakshmi, the word, is very important. So everything, the food I take, the ability to digest, whatever it may be, the knowledge I have, the ability to sing, whatever it may be, all those things, if I just pay my attention to it, that's a Lakshmi, the Lakshyam, it's a Lakshanam pointing to the Parama Purusha, the Parama Shakti that is present. Therefore, this pointing aspect, this denoting aspect of Bhagavan is called Lakshmi. Now, it is also called Stri. Stri, Swami says Stri simply means bliss. That's all. Bliss itself. For Sriman Narayana, we say Sri Ramachandra. In our culture, we don't say Mr. and Mrs. We say Stri, so and so, Srimati, so and so, indicating each one of us, each one of our bodies carrying the name given to us, is actually an embodiment of divinity and embodiment of bliss itself. That's why we say Sri so and so, right? Or Srimati so and so, indicating, reminding that each one of us is a embodiment of Bhagavan, embodiment of prema, embodiment of ananda. So that Sri means bliss, Bhagavan says. Now, the Samskrita scholars very beautifully, now that it's a divine mother, we all know that mother protects, so that aspect we have covered. Now, what does the mother do? She does what is best for the child, isn't it? Matrudevo Bhava means, yes, so worship mother as God. Yes, definitely. Why? Because the mother takes you, points you, and she wants to do the best for you. Therefore, she points to Bhagavan. Imagine every single thing we have learned from our mother. We will never forget. And each one of them is only good and beneficial, isn't it? So, the same way, the Divine Mother, who's present in the form of Sri, in the form of Lakshmi, in our life, in Prakriti, also does beautiful things. This, in the Vaishnava Sampradayam, they very beautifully say there are 6 aspects to it. Okay? Now, one of them, I'll give you very briefly, I'll say that several people enjoy the Padam Sri in different ways. Okay, different ways. Okay, please understand that, because it's such a sweet, sweet sabdam. It is very beautiful sabdam. Very Sri. Just imagine how beautifully, how sweet it is. You cannot capture the essence of that Padam so easily. It's not possible. It has to be experienced. And the elders say, Sri means one who removes the sufferings and difficulties of people, which we know. Why we have health, with the sampat, with the Sri, where hunger, we get food. So removing the hunger is also a disease, as you know, right? As an illness. So one who removes the illness and sufferings of people, and one who actually protects us and takes us to Bhagavan himself. And another beautiful thing about Lakshmi is, or Sri, always giving happiness only. Just like a full moon gives happiness, bliss. Yet everybody desires that. Attracts, everybody desires that. And Nityavadam, she is by the Vaishnava Sampradayam, always with Bhagavan in Paramapadam. And very important, inseparable from the Hridayam of Bhagavan, of the Parama Purusha, which means she is embodiment of prema, which is what our worldly mothers are also. But their love is with selfishness, but Bhagavan's love, which is where Mahalakshmi is, where Sri is selfless love, prema. So very, very brief introduction. And then the Sri Suktham itself occurs in Atharva Veda, but also as a supplement to Rig Veda. Now, who are the Rishikal? By the way, before go to that, it's as the author says here very beautifully, it's a hymn of exquisite beauty and grace. Exquisite because the whole Suktham is in the feminine gender, feminine meter. Okay, it is so sweet to hear and very soft, melodious. If it is recited properly and you close your eyes and then listen to it, literally it elevates you. It puts you, it's a Siddha Mantram, is what they say, which means it can grant not only the Dharmartha Kama, but also Moksham itself, or the 4 things, if recited properly. Why? Because the 15 riks, the mantrangal, are nothing but a description of the Divine Mother. So beautifully it is done that because these are all not somebody sat and wrote it. They saw this darshan. They had the darshan. They had the visual experience of this mantrangal. The sound forms, the various sabdangal actually appeared, manifested in the hridayam of these rishigal. And who are these rishigal? Okay. So for every mantram, there is a rishi, and there is a devata, and there is the objective which I'm reciting the mantram, isn't it? The what I'm doing with that mantram that we say. So here, and the mantram, when we say that, what type of a mantram it is, okay, but we say that who the rishi is, and then what is the who's the devata, okay, whom is it addressed to, right? And what is the meter in which the mantrangal appeared? And there are several meters which are in cover in the next session, so it's easy for you to understand. And so that aspect of it, let me take up right now. So the Sri Suktham, okay, is 15 sacred verses. I said Rik is basically each couplet, we're going to see that. Okay, there are 15 of them. Now, interestingly, there are the way what I have been taught is what I'm going to share with you, and there are generally other mantrangal included in that. Okay, normally when people recite in some places, there is more to Sri Suktham than what I'll be sharing with you. But I'm going to be limiting myself to what I have been taught by a Vedic Pandit, and that's the section that I'm going to cover, which includes the 15, and then with some Palasruti and all that we will see. Okay. So the 15 Riks, as they call, and the Rishigal, what we call a mantra drashta, the seers. Okay, seers we call in English as the mantra drashta. There are 3 Rishigal, and they're all of them are sons of Indra. 3 Rishigal, sons of Indra. Their names are Ananda, Kardama, and Chiklita. Ananda, Kardama, and Chiklita. And who are the Devadaigal? Who are the Devatas that this mantra is addressed to? Whom is it worshipping? 2 Devadaigal, Sri and Agni. Sri and Agni are the 2 Devataigal. Now, the meter, the grammatical meter. The meter means, so many aksharangal. Okay. For example, Anushtup Chandas. Anushtup Chandas is what we are all very familiar with. We recite Sahasranamam, Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lalita Sahasranamam. All these are all in Anushtup Chandas, which will have 32 aksharangal. Okay. Like that Gayatri Mantram is there, which is in Gayatri Chandas, like that. And that we'll take up next class, the next session, in order to save time. So there are, out of the 15 verses, Riks, let's call it, the first 3 verses are in Anushtup Chandas, Anushtup meter. The 4th one is Brihati Chandas. The 5th and the 6th are in Trishtup Chandas. Then following that, the 8 verses following that are again in Anushtup Chandas. And the last 15th one is in Prastara Panktis Chandas. Okay, just for information. And the mantram, the purpose, of course, every time. Why am I saying this? Okay, we say at the end, for example, Sakala Bhishta Siddhartham Jape Vidyogaha, like that we are going to say. So for all that we say, for this artham, for this purpose, okay, to attain this siddhi, to attain this fulfillment, I am reciting, okay, this mantram, okay. So here, normally, it is said that it is repeated utterances, a japam. You do the mantram for attaining all desired ends. and in 3 verses of the 15. Why it is so beautiful, so beautiful. In Rit number 2, verse number 2, and then also in 10, 2, 10, and 15. All the things that you desire are captured. All the things. Which the Chamakam, which details it so many ways. Here the mantrangal, mantra number 2, mantra number 10, and mantra 15 covers everything. Not only my physical comfort and physical fulfillment of physical needs, but also mental needs. Shanti itself, Prashanti itself. Okay, both physical and mental. Completely, it covers all that. And that we will see, as we go along. And so that is a very brief introduction I wanted to share with you today for Sri Suktham. And before we conclude, just the first Rik only that I will recite, and then we will, with Bhagavan's grace, start sharing and enjoying the meaning, partaking the meaning together from next session onward. Om Hiranyavarnam Harinim Suvarnarajatasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jatavedo Ma'avaham Tam Ma'avaha Jatavedo Lakshmi Manapagaminim Yasyam Hiranyam Vindeyam Gamatvam Purushanaham. Okay, that is the first 2 Riks, 2 verses that we will take up with Bhagavan's grace next session. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samastalokaha Sukino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukino Bhavantu. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Namaskaram. Are you all happy? Any questions, comments, thoughts, observations from anyone?
Swamiji, Namaskaram. Introduction itself is very awesome, and we are eagerly anticipating the days to come to observe and listen to your verses, divine verse. Thank you.
Namaskaram, sir. Namaskaram. And I'm also waiting to share with Bhagavan's grace. Very happy. Anybody else wants to have any comments or?
Saram sir, as he said, the introduction, I could visualize so much is there within this. We keep chanting, but yes, there is so much depth, so much. Yes. Yes. I was very, very amazed. Two questions, sir.
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
இது இந்த சன்ஸ் ஆஃப் இந்திரா அவளை பத்தி இது பண்றது இல்லையா? அதுல ஆனந்தா, தர்தமா, third one you told some name.
சிக்லீதா. அதுவும் வரும் உங்களுக்கு இதுல. அவர்
பசுமை குருகே.
60s அதுல அது ரிஷிகள், அவளுக்கு அந்த மந்திர தர்ஷனம் கிடைச்சது.
ஓஹோ,
அதான் சொல்றா அவ அதுல பாருங்க. இது நான் பார்த்திருக்கேன். அதுலதான் அவர் அதான் நம்மளுக்கு தெரியும். அப்படிதான் தெரியும் நம்மளுக்கு.
அப்புறம் இந்த தேவதா, 2 தேவதா, ஒண்ணு
2 தேவதா இருக்கு. ஸ்ரீ அப்புறம் அக்னி.
ஓகே,
2 தேவதை 2 இருக்கு.
ஓகே,
ஜாதவேதன்றது அக்னி. அதை நம்ம அடுத்த செஷன்ல பார்ப்போம்.
Sure. One more question, sir, if I can.
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
Rik number 2, 10, 15 all desires are captured. That means mantra drishta and the ரிஷிகள்லாம் அதெல்லாம் இது பண்ணிருப்பாளா?
ரிஷி அந்த சப்தம் பகவான் எப்படி சொல்றதுன்னா, நம்ம இந்த இப்படி ஒரு பிரகாசமா இருக்கிற இந்த லக்ஷ்மி தேவியை நம்ம அம்மாட்டக்க பகவான் வந்து டிவைன் மதரா காட்சி அளிக்கிறார் பிரகிருதியில இல்லையா? அவரை வந்து நம்ம வேண்டிக்கிறோம். இப்ப அம்மாட்ட நம்ம போய் எனக்கு பசிக்கிறது சாப்பாடு போடுன்றோம், அது ஒரு ரிக்வெஸ்ட் விச் இஸ் பிசிக்கல் நீட் ஃபார் திஸ். அதே சமயத்துல நம்மளுக்கு மனசாந்தி இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதுக்கும் நம்ம வந்து வேண்டிக்கிறோம். அதே அம்மாட்ட தான் வேண்டிக்கிறோம் நம்ம. ஸோ இந்த ஸ்லோகம் சொல்லு, போய் பகவானை போய் வேண்டிக்கோ, நல்ல புத்தி கொடுன்னு அம்மா சொல்றா இல்லையா? ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி போத் தி நீட் ஃபார் த பிசிக்கல் லைஃப், அப்புறம் நம்மளுக்கு மென்டல் பீஸ் வந்து பகவான். ஆக்சுவலா இந்த மந்திரம் வந்து பகவானே அடைந்துள்ள ஐக்கியமாயிடும், அந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்கு இந்த மந்திரம். அது ரெண்டுமே வந்து அவர் கேட்கிறார். இந்த ரெண்டாவது ரிக்ல வந்து பிசிக்கல் நீட்ஸ் வரும், 10வது ரிக்ல வந்து நம்ம மென்டல் எப்படி மானச பஜரே குருச்சரணம், மைண்ட் வந்து பகவான் இருந்து அந்த பிளிஸ் அனுபவிக்கணும் இல்லையா? அப்புறம் முதல்லயே வந்து அனப்பாயினின்னு ஒரு வார்த்தை வரும். கேட்கறதுனால ஒரே நிமிஷம் சொல்லிடுறேன். ஐ ஹோப் அதர்ஸ் டோன்ட் மைண்ட். வந்து பிகாஸ் கொஞ்சம் அலாட்டட் டைம் இதுவா இருக்கு. அனப்பாயினின்னா வந்து கொஞ்சம் கூட நகராத, அகலாத, அதாவது நாட் லீவிங், இன்செப்பரபிள். ஓகே, அப்படி அந்த மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் கூட அந்த மாதிரி அர்த்தம். அது எப்பொழுதுமே கூடயே இருக்கிறது. ஸோ அப்படிப்பட்ட செல்வத்தை எனக்கு குடுன்னு வருது, அனப்பாயினியும் லக்ஷ்மி. அந்த வாட் இஸ் த செல்வம் தட் see normally money comes and goes, health comes and goes, nothing stays. But what is the selvam, real selvam, that is always there, is only moksham. And once mokshத்தை அடைஞ்சுட்டான்னா, அந்த உபனிஷத்தை சொல்ற மாதிரி எல்லா காமங்களையும் தாண்டி விடுகிறான். வேர் இட் இஸ் ஒரு ஆசையே இல்லாத நிலை வந்துடும். That is called fulfillment of all desires. அந்த அளவுக்கு அது நம்பர் 10th ரிக்ல இருக்கு. கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணிட்டேனா? Are you happy?
Great.
Sure.
Swamiji, great. It's got
point. Thank you so much, sir.
ஆமா, அத வந்து 15th வந்து சம்மரைஸ் பண்ணுவார், திருப்பி எம்பசைஸ் பண்ணி கேட்பார். நம்ம யார்கிட்ட கேட்க முடியும் சொல்லுங்க? அம்மாட்ட தான் கேட்க முடியும்.
Thank you so much, Saram sir.
I am grateful to all of you for this opportunity. Anybody else wants to say anything? Everybody happy then?
Yes. Mr. Krishna Swami, this is Janaki. As usual, you're bringing wonderful energy to this whole class. Appreciate it so much. Thank you.
No, I'm grateful to you, ma. I'm grateful to you. And very good. Namaskaram. And
Namaskar.
I'll hand over to the coordinators to conclude the session then. Then with next 1 week, we will meet with Bhagwan's grace. Okay? Namaskaram.
Sai Ram.
Namaskaram.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
Namaskar.